moving forward with each one of us. I don't know. I would start. Let's see. Anyone has special questions they wanna go over, or we just go with distractions and intentions, the regular one. I'll just shoot it with my intentions is to make sure that everyone that has not gone through that document, well, both those that have gone have a clear picture, understanding of our strategy, legal terms, and those that have not can give us their feedback. So in future presentations, we will try to be as clear as possible and keep going with the document that we started before Christmas. And I don't have any distractions except for it's freezing cold here, and I hope that the heater starts warming up. I'll pass it to Griff. I don't think he's listening to us. Griff, are you there? You're muted.
I got frozen for a second, but I'm here. Okay. I'm back. Yeah, my intentions are pretty much the same as Santi. I love this idea of us going into the doc and making sure Anya and Lawrence especially have a chance to just read it and make comments and vote, ideally. And then, yeah, I love getting the hatch terms are probably the first are the next big deliverable. So a work session sounds pretty nice. And I'll pass it to Anya. It's just intentions and distractions, Anya.
All right. You guys hear me well? My distraction is an art project that just got its wings, kind of. It's really kicking off, and it's still on my mind, partially. So that's a huge distraction. They are looking into tokenization, and we are having a cooperative being established next week. So it's going to be a bit of a reverse situation, because usually we start with the tokens and with all the tokens platforms, and then only thinking about the legal structure. But here it's going to be the opposite situation. So that's on my mind, and that's a distraction. The intention: wish everybody a happy new year. Long time no see, kind of. And to dig into the document. I'm sorry I wasn't really on top of the whole thing. I'm having a huge FOMO right now because I see a lot of messages and I haven't really been spending a lot of time with the document. So I'm looking forward to reserve some more time for that. Maybe more than 1 to 3 hours per week. Yeah, that's me. And I'm not sure who went already and who hasn't. Maybe Lawrence, you can go next.
Lawrence, you're still muted. If you're there, I was trying to talk to Lawrence earlier and he wasn't talking, so I'm not sure. Right. We can go to Craig. Hey, Craig.
You guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
It's so bizarre, right? Like, so I'm now not at my house, and I'm hotspotting my phone to my laptop, and it's working. At my home, 2 gigs down, a gig up, and anyways. Sorry, I'm just. My intentions are to sort of catch up and see what's happening here, and distractions. Yeah, none right now, but there will be some soon. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Lau is the only one left.
Septimus too.
Oh, goes Optimus.
Thank you, Greg. Intentions for the call is still being synchronized and have a better understanding what's everything going on legal. And distractions, my internet is not working as well as it should be, but that's it. I'll pass it to Laura if he's back, or if he's not, going back to Santi.
Oh, he just went down. So we will start without him. Hopefully he might be able to reconnect. So the idea for today was especially for those that have not had a chance to go over to, you guys have the agenda. In the agenda, there is the link. Let me see if I can share it here, if it works finally. Let's see. Discord templates, share screen, entire screen, go live. Let me know if you see my screen. Do you guys see it?
Opening up.
Not yet. Yeah.
All right. Okay. New year, new new tools. Anyway, this is the post that we created during Christmas, basically going over the legal strategy that we are going to be setting up for the launching of the Hatch. Well, of the whole process. This is the beginning of the whole process, legal wise, and there's been at the bottom of the post, there's a voting, so we require everyone to go over it and give us their feedback. So I would love to, for those who have read it, give us your feedback. Is it understandable? Is it clear? Do you think it needs some more detailed explanations in one or another area? And for those who have not, if they can just go ahead and read it, it's not too long, and give us your feedback, because it's very important for us to make sure that everyone that goes over this documentation has a clear understanding of the process that we are going to be putting together. So once to start, I know, Griff, you have a clear idea of what it is because you were writing it with me. I don't know, maybe Craig can go first.
Hi, Santi. Somebody else needs to go first. I'm perusing it. I've read it clearly, but it's just not fresh in my mind. But I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I cannot see the screen. I don't know if Dr. Lau was able to hook again or.
No, it's funny because he made a comment in the actual like T legal thing right at the beginning of the call, but no, he's gone. I can just say, like, you know, I think it does a pretty good job. There's obviously a lot of detail that's left out. Like, there was kind of a request to really go into the common stacks role in this document, and then we kind of only at the end of it, there's just like one line for a few other pieces that probably could be more fleshed out, but I think it's okay, like, just to be there, for like someone to have enough information to say this is good or bad. And I'll pass it to Livia. Do you have any comments on the legal strategy proposal?
I'm moving, so my internet is really bad. I'll be mostly listening, but I'll write there in the blog post.
Well, Santi, what were your thoughts?
Oh yeah, so I'm giving time to Anya in the event she has not gone through it, so she can go through it, because I'd love to hear her feedback. So my thoughts, I have a clear understanding, because we were working on this document for quite a while, giving it some iterations between Griff, Jessica, and myself. But I have the feeling there's a lot of information, and although it shows a clear picture of the process, I have the feeling that it may be too much information for someone who's jumping into this document for the first time. But it's a personal feeling. That's why I'm willing to hear your points and your inputs here on the document. I know legal is something most of the people who's not used to doesn't feel comfortable with, and my idea is to try to make, you know, these kind of documents and information as smooth as possible for everyone.
Yeah, in my case, when I was reading it, I mean, it helped me a lot to be in the calls, but for me, because I don't have like maybe the knowledge or the vocabulary, there is many words they were hard to me, but for me it was understandable, because since I was coming to the the meetings and everything. It helped me a lot. But overall, I don't know if it's me because I lack some vocabulary or understanding some things. But overall, I think it was understandable, and especially it helped me a lot to come to the meetings.
Good. So what about you, Anya? Did you have a chance to read it?
I'm still reading it. Sorry for that.
Okay. Good. Maybe we can go with Craig and get his feedback.
Hi, sorry, my distractions arrived in the form of children needing food. I'm sorry, I can't contribute at this moment. I'll be back though.
All right. Okay. So is anyone else missing?
So I see that.
Oh, go ahead, Anya. Go ahead.
I see that a lot of questions are actually connected to what is happening when somebody actually becomes a part of Swiss Association, or what is happening when a person becomes a member of Common Stack Association. What is very useful, at least that's what I've seen with at least 3 associations and cooperatives here, is to have like a list of all the benefits and all the obligations that members get once they become members. It clarifies it very easily because all the rest is basically procedural. But having the access to a specific platform, or getting newsletters, or participating in different calls, or getting notifications about different events, those are the perks and the benefits that people would usually love to see, and get the information like the first time they enter a website, or whenever they hear about membership of certain association. We always laugh because there is one of the associations is like the oldest one, and it has a lot of members, but every time people join the Telegram, for example, they always ask, what are the benefits of becoming a member? Because it's like a 20 bucks you have to pay for becoming a member. And then the president always goes mad asking, well, have you ever asked what your obligations are? Everybody just asks, what did I get? What did I get? But nobody is really interested in the obligations. So that's always something that is going to be out there. And I see that people are having questions about that too. I would love to help you in a way, because that's what I kind of do, or love to dig into, to see, for example, from a legal point of view, how the token engineering might influence or be influenced by the regulation. So if there's an interest or a need for that, I would love to dig deeper into that. And then with Swiss Association, I see that there is like a mentioning of terms and conditions, but perhaps it would be useful to get rid of the legalese, to get rid of the legal lingo, so to translate it so that it becomes understandable to whomever goes through those terms.
Okay.
If that's something that would be of interest.
Okay, so at least go over, on a clear, give a clear picture of the terms and conditions with benefits and obligations for everyone joining.
Do you have a favorite example, Anya, of this? So we could just, copy, paste.
Benefits and obligations?
Yeah, like a summary of
okay. Yeah. Another group, it seems to be in language, so it's not going to be any benefit to you, but I'm going to look into it. If I find anything in English, I'm definitely going to share it.
Okay, great.
Honestly, even in a different language, what I'm really curious of is the format. Like, gotcha. Even if it's a different language, I could work with that.
Okay.
Assuming it's like, I assume it's like a 1-pager or even a half-pager, right?
In one of the groups, looking for it now, it's actually a pinned message in a Telegram group, so it's more or less just like almost like a to-do list or something like that.
That's great. That's even better.
Yeah.
And Lawrence, you came back. Are you able to say anything? And if not, you can message in the legal chat too.
Great. So if you can, whenever you can give us an example of that, if you find it, Anya, that'd be great. And I think that's a good input, because I agree. And probably Septimus was expressing that people who's not used to go over legal documentation, it's much easier for them to just check, the basic benefits and obligations of becoming or joining or being a member, and just reviewing those is more than enough. Of course, we will provide the legal links to terms and statutes and whatever documents there are. So if they want to go over them in detail, they can. But I assume that 95% of the people is not going to get deeper into that. Okay, so if there is no more comments, is there anything else there? Oh, you're sending the document here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I copied it in the, but it's not the whole message. I don't know why I didn't copy it. Am I limited to the number of characters that I can send over a message?
I don't know. I don't think so. I've never run into that.
Worst case, you could put in a Google Doc or something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anya, for this. This is going to be very critical for us. I mean, because I think you're nailing it. We just need some bullet points or whatever.
How this message
simple
is actually being crafted is the guy basically says, in this year, which is now ending, this is what happened, and I wish every member to be part of our yearly events. Then what he hopes to achieve, and then what he wants to actually compensate the members with for providing the membership fee, and then he names all the important links, and then kind of points out who the partners are and what they can actually get from the partners, from the partnering organizations. So, and plus there was a game organized for all the members. So he basically just went through all the things that members are getting straightforward, and described every of the partners, and put some links down for the partners.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think it's a great way to real quick get a clear picture of what you are entering into if you join. So we're gonna have to work on that. That's great. I think we can move forward after this initial point, and my idea was to jump into the document that we started just before Christmas, that we started hacking together from ANG, to try to get into something similar for the terms whenever a hatcher is intending to purchase token engineering commons tokens, when we have the DAO, the first DAO, the hatching DAO, working. So Griff, can you share that document for me? I don't know if Griff is here. I think he's got frozen.
You want me to share the screen?
Fine.
I'm here.
Yeah, with the doc, can you the link of the document is in the agenda. Can you just open it up just like you did on the last meeting, so we can start working together? Great.
Let's see.
It's the C initial draft doc.
Is it showing the right screen?
Yeah, it's showing the right screen, and it's the link right there. Yeah. I think you have to scroll down all the way down till there's this other type where all the up, yeah, a little bit, yeah, over there. No, scroll down, scroll down.
Oh, down. Wait, are you sure? I think it's up. I just saw some TEC action.
Yeah, because I changed
Oh,
the first, just a few of them, but then we focused on the risks, and there, over there, number 12. That's where we started. Over there, representations and warranties and risks. There we go. I remember Anya going over here. Let me see. There we go. The point number C, I think where it's indented is where we finish it. Although Anya started working from there, we recommend not placing. Let me accept those changes that she was introducing.
but these are comments, so you can leave them because we got to.
Okay.
I should make a hashtag recommendation.
That's right. We're screaming. I forget that we scream here. All caps. It's kind of weird.
I never actually understood why the Americans are always doing that. If you put it in caps, then it has an extra value in court. If it's not caps lock, it doesn't. People don't know how to read if it's not caps lock. Oh well. I love this. After all, this is bleeding edge technology. Love that. This is the word.
You love it, but you want to delete it?
I'm not sure if this. I mean, you can leave it. It's not as if there's anything wrong with it. I just am not really used to having this type of language in terms and conditions. You want to make sure that people are aware of the risk that this is an nascent technology and that it is changing all the time.
Well, it's maybe underlining the implicit risk of dealing with such an innovation technology. That's probably what that sentence tries to express.
How's that?
That's good, Griff. Yeah. Any unforeseeable risks.
I don't know if I spelt it right, but whatever. Someone will catch that, I hope. Google says that that's okay. The development of quantum computers. Wow. We're talking next level here.
So we're just naming the risks here. It's I'm a bit confused because sometimes it's a whole sentence that actually has a meaning, and then sometimes it would just be risk, almost like we're having a list of them.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. It's not very well formatted. We might have to look at the original PDF. I imagine there's something lost in format translation.
I gotcha. Oh wait, I remember I said I'm going to be looking at the risk metrics. I don't believe I've ever shared any risk metrics with you. Did I?
No?
No, if you want to share it,
Anybody
that'd be
remember?
nice. Yeah, can you share it?
I first have to find it on my computer. Not sure if I still have it on this computer. I agree. If I actually think that this paragraph that we're amending right now should be ordered with A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. Because above we have A, B, C. I think B actually ends with your, which should be part of the C point. Or wallet your asset staked in TEC hedge DAO and or in any of the XD DAI breach. You see where I'm reading?
Sorry, can you say that again? I missed that word.
Yeah, so above when we are having risk of theft and hacking, we're probably going to be naming all the risks in an ordered way, like A, B, C. Every paragraph is going to be having like a entail. I don't know if that's the expression. Right. Could we distribute the work somehow? Like everybody gets a paragraph or a specific
Yeah,
segment?
maybe that's a good idea. Do you want to start? I know I see some changes that you introduced in point number 13, Anya.
Okay.
If you go to the document,
Limitations of liability and disclaimer.
Right. So you probably started that the other day.
Can you just give us all edit access and we just trust that?
Sure. Let me try to give you access.
You should be able to go to share and then just like at the bottom it says like comment only. And you should be able to change this. Anyone with the link can edit. And then when Zeptimus adds in this little line that's like, and Zepti gets all of the money, it'll be okay. It's just terms.
It should be working now. Check it out.
Still in suggesting mode.
Usually you just have to read.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I sort of want to start at the top if that's okay with you, Santi.
That's fine. I can follow your screen since Anya has got more expertise than than us on legal. I can follow you on the screen, and then we can catch up with her work.
How did we define the we?
The token engineering, the TC Hatch DAO.
Yeah.
That's the we. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little Inception-ish. I don't know. It's a little weird. It's like, okay, you're joining it. We're creating it right now, you know? I don't know. Does that work, Anya?
I mean, yeah. If it's the constitutional document with which we only emerge or come into existence, it's still a very valid term, valid way to go about. But I would go through the whole document just to make sure that we are consistent with how we use the we and who we are representing when we say that.
Okay.
Anya, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Griff.
Thank you so much.
No worries. I'm a weirdo that kind of enjoys doing these work, so.
Well, we're all faking it. So, you know, to be able to just like hand a decision to you and you'd be like, yeah, this, and then we can just move forward. It's so nice.
Griff, I'm watching your writing, and I'm not sure if what you're describing there is the whole entity instead of just the hatch DAO. Because actually,
well, so then I feel like the hatch DAO's purpose is the same as what it is. Like the purpose, there's no bonding curve or conviction voting, but everyone buying in better want to collectively organize around TE public goods, or they should get the hell out.
Yeah, but there's a slight difference. There's a slight difference between the hatch DAO and the final DAO, which is the one that everyone's going to be able to join if they want to. And I think we gotta keep that clear when writing the document and when thinking on the terms of the document, because the hatch DAO is going to be living for weeks, and then it's going to be gone.
Well, we can't assume that we know exactly how it's going to go. That's the thing. Like, look at this test that just happened.
I agree, but those who are on the tech hatch won't be the same group that will be on the final DAO. Some of them will, but some of them won't. So there's like two groups. One group is the hatch DAO group, and then there's the final DAO, where the hatch DAO group is also a group of that, but there is also the externals. So we got to keep that in mind because these terms are the hatch DAO terms, because they are only going to be there when you're purchasing if you're a hatcher.
So I guess which piece is a stretch? I mean, we're
because the hatch DAO, I understand the final goal is public goods. The final overall goal is public goods, but the goal of the hatch DAO is to reach the minimum cap to be able to transfer its value into the final DAO.
Well, that seems more operational though than like what is it trying to do? Is
well, let's leave it like this, and let's give it some thoughts afterwards. I'm just trying to think legal wise.
I would still say we should have an intention and it be explicit. At least, honestly, I'm in the Argonne Court document, right, where they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is the purpose, right? This is our intent, is to settle disputes. It's not to, it's not the how, but there's like, basically, what is the why? Why are people joining? It's not so that they can upgrade to a commons, well, maybe some of them, right? Some people are like, yeah, I don't care about TE public goods, but I like the commons system and I want to apply it to something. But
I see where you're going, Griff, but I have a little conflict between the title, Tech Hatch DAO, and then having a global purpose. I don't know if we should just say the tech and have a global purpose, and then when we start going into the risks and everything, keep in mind that these are the risks of the tech hatch.
Maybe we now write the terms and conditions for tech hatch, and then whenever we actually go onto the global level, we change the terms and conditions.
Right. That's what I think. But you probably have a better. We'll have to go over that and think about it. But yeah, we can leave it we can leave it like this for now, Griff. I think having the global purpose is good, but when we dive deeper into these documents, we will have to figure out.
Just to be sure, have you the public goods using that nomenclature? Is that actually like has it been tested anywhere else? Because sometimes the public goods are actually like subject to specific legislation.
No, I haven't seen any public goods. Should we be less specific or like not use that term since it's, I mean, I know it's an economic term. I don't know if it's a legal term.
Yeah.
Public is a little bit of a scary word, right?
I mean, here, depending on what type of a public good it is, but sometimes there would be specific rules, and there are specific agencies that are having the rights to manage, to govern those public goods, even though they should be accessible to everybody. Like the maintenance, for example, is trusted to a specific person. So I'm just putting it out there. Not sure about it.
Public. Dr. Lau suggests public benefits. He says that has legal implications. Public benefits instead of public goods.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about just using the term commons because it's much less. It's less.
Concrete.
Yeah. It allows. The vagueness of it allows for numerous different interpretations. So.
Then maybe use commons, Griff. We have we have a broader meaning with that.
I mean, I don't think it needs to be changed right now. I'm just asking because right now how you have it is public goods in the token engineering field. So it's a very like lex specialis. It's a very specific public good which we kind of defined as public good in token engineering field. So it's quite clear that this is not the usual public goods that a country or a nation state would actually demand to be arranged somehow. It's not. I just wanted to raise that if it has been discussed. And I lost myself. Where was I?
Thank you for your comments, Lawrence. Yeah, Anya, there's an interesting point that Dr. Lawrence brings into the table, which is the difference on between EU states, between donating and the deductions, the tax deductions on donating. And this brings to me the what 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 may happen if we, because we're not considering this to be a donation, right? Right. Okay. Then, if it's not a donation, which I understand it's not, whatever happens to the token, everyone will have to deal with it twice in terms of taxation, and that's it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you put money into the hatch now, you get tokens that give you a claim to a portion to those funds. Once it hits the min goal, you lose your claim to those funds, a portion of those funds, because you're diluted, and there's also the hatch percent, the hatch tribute percent, or whatever we call it. I can't remember what it's called in the code base anymore.
Yeah, whatever the ending value ends up, if you ever sell, is what you will use as a selling price, and the purchasing price for your tax deductions will be the one that you give or you put in whenever you join, and that's your tax implications. Uh-huh.
I mean, if what happens when you buy, a car, you get a car back and it has the value of the car. If you buy it off a car lot, it loses its resale value. You have an asset that's worth less. I would say it's around the same, about the same idea.
Well, it's in terms, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anya, but in terms of taxation and Lawrence, it's just selling price minus purchasing price, and that's the increase of value that you have to declare.
Yeah, capital gains tax.
Yeah, that's what I'm mentioning here. That's the capital gains tax.
I'm trying to understand this better, because it's pretty much just like I invest something in a Bitcoin and then the price goes up and I divest. So I take the money out, I put it on my bank account, and then the question is whether this is actually a taxable event or not, and according to what value it's going to be taxed.
Apparently, you will have to prove the purchasing price and the selling price, and it'll be on your hand to provide those inputs to the tax declaration, and show them off if you have an inspection later on. It's just like any other. It's like any other currency.
Right, so that then depends really on state to state, because here, for example, you don't really have to declare the exchange of the currency itself, but as the tax authority is going to see that you might be withdrawing from the exchange a large amount of money, then they're going to give you a call and you will have to declare or provide some evidence about how did you gain the money. And if you don't have the source information, then this might actually be hugely, vastly taxed. But this is from the DAO point of view, this is actually putting the responsibility on the shoulder of each individual that actually does that. So this needs to be very specifically defined in the liabilities or the responsibilities in the terms, because it needs to be very clear that the DAO is not going to be responsible for any tax events for whatever is happening. Individuals are taking that responsibility into their own hands. So it's almost like it's useful to make a recommendation to every investor to really consult their legal or a tax advisor prior to making the investment.
Well, yeah, I see, and I agree completely with that. But there's one point that the Lawrence is bringing, which is that the tokens are treated as property. But if you
Yeah, but
trade
that's
for
not that's not general. That's not general for all the countries. That really depends on country to country.
okay,
There's
then
no
all we have to mention is that it's upon the investor, the user, the hatcher to deal with their own taxation on their own country, and it's not that's not anything that the tech has to do with.
Absolutely.
But make clear that it's their own responsibility.
I mean, it's not even the same in every country. FinCEN
Right.
says it's money, and the IRS says that it's property. So like, and, you know, who knows? We can't prescribe anything here.
Yeah, there is these financial passports, but now we're this is complex because one thing is to bear the responsibility for financial reporting and for taxation as the DAO, as an organization. Here, the financial passports are extremely important because then I don't know if there is any passport that would be global. I know that, for example, you can get a license or you can get sort of a passport in one of the European countries, and then you should be able to make the same statement or same explanation to whichever EU country. That same explanation is not going to be valid in front of the US authorities. That only goes for one organization, for example, for a DAO.
So at this
But
point,
then
I
I've
would
heard
just
about.
go ahead.
Wait, Lawrence, can you explain that a bit? The rules are consolidating into travel rules for financial passports, like travel rules like logistics? And yeah, if holding for long term, here the tax authority had made it very clear that holding is not really a taxed event. Jurisdictions
Well,
are still debating. Yeah.
they're still debating. I think at
That's
the
why
end,
jurisdictions stopping.
right, to me, the end point is that we just should warn that this is an issue that everyone will have to deal with their own authorities and taxation authorities, and it's nothing to do with the DAO. We can give some advice, but it's beyond the organization.
The only thing that actually pertains to the organization itself is this is going to be a profit obtained and it's not going to be a donation. How then is it going to be perceived? I mean, we know it's not a security. We know it's not a donation. Memberships here, for example, are not taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty much going to be a membership fee, and then how this membership is going to be distributed throughout the organization. So, for example, a part goes into the obligatory reserves, and then another part goes into something else. That's internal stuff. That's how the organization spends the money.
Decides to deal with it, right?
Yeah,
Decides
but
to
that's
deal with
not,
the money.
yeah, that's not really important for the taxes if, for example, it's being perceived as the membership fee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll definitely have to give it some thought. Would suggest, of course, we are on the first iterations of the document, and we will have to keep moving forward and have some discussions once we're almost done with that. I think we just made it to the hour. It's been again a great session. I would love if we can asynchronous do some work on the document and try to get it more and more ready for next Friday. If there's any additional inputs that you have or you wanna us to consider, just leave them on the text channel so we can grab that information and at least keep in mind for next Friday meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, I would love, Anya, if you can bring an example of of a risk matrix for next Friday, so you can look at that, and we'll definitely look at those links that you shared with the obligations and benefits, so we can have a slightly much better structure for future communications on legal stuff.
All right.
All right.
I'll do 2 things. Yeah.
Okay. I thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you in 7 days next week.